Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is the Monday special where Steve and I get to show you guys some cool books. And this week we're going to be doing DC Golden Age stuff.
It's really good stuff today. Really good.
So I got a big stack right next to me. I imagine Steven has a stack or two next to him.
I do.
And we're going to show some cool books. So it should be a fun episode. We always try to make it fun. I'm doing a new style, by the way. This is me putting my t-shirt version over my long sleeve shirt. So this is like a I'm just doing a weird style here.
Was it Hollister?
Yeah, it's one of my Hollisters. I like Hollister.
Well, do you like advertising for them?
Yep. So that's sponsored.
Do they
by
pay you
Hollister.
to advertise? Do they pay you to advertise Hollister?
Sponsored by Hollister. The clothing that you will want to wear. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like a motto.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it up. Something sounds like it'd be cool if they sponsored this channel. I'm all for it. If you guys, Hollister, I'm putting it out there. If you want to send me random amounts of money for sponsoring you, I'm all for it. I'm the biggest shill out there. Okay, so just so you know, I'm putting that out. So other than that, we're gonna talk about comics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to quickly say hi to the chat.
Hello, chat.
We got Louie is first today, Louie J.
Hello, Louie.
And then we got Kay Munin. I'm going to assume that Robbie O'Donnell, Thomas O'Donnell. Thomas O'Donnell is here, but I just can't see him.
I already said hi to him, and so did Matt. We said hi in the chat.
Well, I can't see him for some reason.
Well, he's not in the chat, but we said hi to him anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying hi to him anyways, too. Okay, so then we got Mark's Issues with Archie Comics, which is Mark Mueller. Hi, Mark.
That was fun last night, Mark.
I was hanging out with him last night, yeah. We both were, yeah. And then we got Kenyon again. And then we got Tan. Thank you, Tan.
Hi, Tan.
Christmas. Actually, Tan's a really nice guy. He did something really nice for me today. So I was like, oh, that's very nice of you. He gave me a little Christmas present. So very nice guy. And then we got wait, no, I meant to click that one. We got Felix,
Mr. Maldonado.
And we got Matt Likes Comics.
Big Matt.
Oh, it's funny, yeah. Hi Thomas, if you are here. We don't know. And then we got Big Nasty. Hi Rich.
Hi Rich.
And they talk to each other a lot. All these people.
That's
Stop
good.
Talking to each other, so I can get through these. That's tricky. Lots of chatting going on here.
I'll be right back.
Okay, probably by the time you get back, I'll find the next person to click. Hi, John Harrison, and hi, Jeff Jack. Jeff Jack. That's what am I saying? This is why I need you, Stephen. And then we got Core. Hi, Core. Good evening, all good people. Looking very much for the All-Star Comics. See, that's what I bring. I'm going to be bringing some awesome All-Star. So, and Steven's just bringing some lame-o Flash. He's just bringing lame-o stuff. I'm bringing the cool All-Star. So, but yeah. Okay. And then we got, who else we got here? I think I got everybody. No, I didn't. One sec here. Then we got hi Kenny Numbers. Hey G Majors. And Bleeker. And Jerry. Hi Jerry. And then we got Nathan Appel. Nice to see you. And who else we got? Oh, even Matt's being generous tonight. Alan is Sheldon Cooper. Oh, short. Oh, is that's the style? Is that what he wears? Is that from what's it called? What's that show? Not 3.5 Men. It's like Geeks or what's the show with Sheldon? Oh my goodness. Why am I blanking on that? I never watch it. It's a show that I never watch. It's like they're like comic book nerds. You know, Sheldon.
I
even
don't watch it.
Young Sheldon as a TV series.
Young Sheldon, but I didn't watch the one that has the with
Yeah, what was the original?
The Big
Big
Bang
Bang
Theory.
Theory. Big Bang Theory. Yes.
I don't watch. I mean, it's aimed right at me, and I don't watch it because I
Yeah, I
think they're
never watched
making
it.
fun.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it was kind of making fun of nerds rather than
It
embracing them.
was it allowed the nerds to be kind of cool, but
Okay, and then we got Mike Pope. Hi, Mike Pope. And then we
I
got
think that I think their actual knowledge of comics was
Spurs.
of paper thin.
Yeah, but they had this. The thing is, I don't like when people sound like they. It's almost like they say, oh, they kind of make it elitist kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't like that. I kind of
No, I don't. I don't either. I don't like characterizations of nerds. I don't like characterizations like the comic store guy in The Simpsons. I
like
don't,
that.
with toothless, and overweight and smelly and what have. I mean that.
The thing is, it's actually a pretty accurate stereotype.
That's the reason. That's the reason it bothers me.
It's very accurate. It's so accurate. Okay. Then we got Bearded Rooster.
Mr. Rooster.
And then we got Susie Q.
Hello, Sue.
And Diabetic Superman.
Soups.
And Revolver or Uzify.
Uvutsify. Uvatsify.
Yeah, I can never say that properly.
Boy, you sure picked a good handle on that, unless your last name is Uzutsify.
I did get it eventually, Mike. I actually remember the name eventually. So, I just say a random bunch of things until I get it.
Well, as I recall, Alan, I said it, and then you
said
you
started
knew it.
to say it, and then I finished it.
So I see. Ladies and gentlemen, when you roll the tape back to see, this will give you some idea of what I'm dealing with here, all right?
Remember, there is a delay with my microphone. Just so
I see. and there are some people who are buying this, Alan.
Okay, so there's a delay. Okay. And then we got Robbie Josephs. Hi, Robbie Josephs.
Hello, Robbie.
And I'm toothless. I'm overweight.
No, you're not.
I've
no,
seen
you're not.
You're
a good-looking guy. Come off it, man.
Guy.
You're a good-looking guy.
Yeah. I don't know why he only shows his hands though. He's a good-looking guy, better looking than I am, and I'm like totally like.
Well, that's not going too far, but as it goes. This is my friend Steve. This is my friend Steve helping me here. Can I shovel a little more dirt on that?
Yeah.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi, Kenneth. And I think we got everybody. Oh my goodness. So who wants to go first?
Are we doing 1 round or 2?
Let's do it in 2 rounds.
All right. All right. If you want me to lead off, or do you want to lead off?
Would you have like something really big at the end?
Well, there's always something big at the end. It's actually in this one, it's good all the way through. So
okay, me too, actually. Atomic Comic Pile. Hey. Okay, we're gonna do it as 2 rounds. Do it as 2 rounds. I'll let you go first.
All right.
Then I can kind of gauge things a little bit.
All right. I have 8 all told, so I will do it. My half of the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, first of all, let me just say, I have Undercover Crime. Terrific.
Love that book, by the way.
It's just killer
terrific.
book.
No, the Terrific. I all of them are great, but I really especially love the Terrific. I love that book.
It's a long story with that book, how I got it, and it was fraught, and there was all manner of problem and what have you with it. It ended a friendship and a whole.
Can I ask a favor of you? Because I really do love that book. I really do. Can you bring it to show the audience?
Sure.
It is worthy of seeing. It's my favorite Bondage cover. I just think it's such a beautiful book. And there's one book there I don't want you to show people.
I know which one. I know which one it is.
It's one.
It's very near It's near the dynamic. I understand, and it ain't red. Okay.
Yeah, there's a book that I'm trying to get, but I don't want you to show it to people.
There's a book you're trying to get.
Yeah.
What could it be?
One of the ones I have every single book there except for one.
You have a Buck Rogers?
I have the Buck Rogers.
Oh, I know which one you want. I won't say.
Okay, yeah, it's a crappy book. Nobody will like it, anyways.
Yeah, that's why I have it. Thank you.
It's one that I want. I don't want people to chase after it. Okay. Jerry says he has the same PJs on.
Oh, do you?
I have
You
the
know,
same one too, actually.
I have two pair, and I had people saying, "Are those the only pants you have?" And of course, if I'm leaving the house or something, I slip on some Levi's, and I put a pullover. But if I'm just sort of,
they're comfortable.
I'm slorging around the house and schlepping here and there, and I figure at 72, if I can't, I don't want to wear, Spanx and all manner of gusset myself up. Maybe get one of those things, the Commander, the one that holds the gut in. It has the rotating panels lower down. Yeah. Oh my God! Hi, Callie.
And how Lau's here too. Hello.
Oh, hello. Hey, Lau. It's coming along. The Phantom Lady is coming along beautifully. Really I'm real excited about that.
Yeah. Okay. So this book is my favorite bondage cover of all.
That's high praise from you.
Yeah. No, this is it's just so cool. I mean, the spiking thing and the hooded figures and.
Now, in this particular instance, I'm certain that whoever the colorists were for Continental did a beautiful job on this because the guns look like guns. You see?
I feel like this was L.B. Cole.
What, the coloring?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Whoever did the thing I like about this, though,
L.B. Cole worked on Terrific too, right? And this is Schomburg art, but I think
this is Schomburg pencils and inks. But I don't know who was the one that did the actual coloring. It has
like a very L.B. Cole coloring palette to it, to me.
Does it say? No, I'll cover Alex Schomburg. It has
I'm
good.
Find out. Okay, Terrific 3, right?
Terrific 5.
Right. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I always get the numbers.
But if you look up in the top window there, you've got a full spectrum of yellow, clear down to dark, almost purple at the window. Isn't that? I just love that part of it.
Yeah. Really...
And the color strike on this particular comic itself is quite good. These do tend to have variation in color, and of course it's from where it was in the print run, and it also depends upon what kind of handling and conditions the thing had to exist. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a beautiful. It doesn't say who did the coloring.
I didn't figure it. I'm certain that whoever was in the and my question: who was the packager for Continental, or was there one?
I don't think
was it Eisner? Was it Fine? I mean, what was it?
It doesn't say. Like I'm reading like the thing for it.
Now you can see under this is September of 1944, but you can see that it actually came out on June the 16th. And B, I always put A is morning and B is evening. That's how I kind of read this. So this would have been this would have been delivered on the afternoon of June 16th, 1944. Right. And of course, June 16th, June 7th, so this was on the stands when Normandy was going on. This was when the Normandy invasion was occurring for the Second Front, and Stalin insisted. Churchill wanted it to come up from Africa, but Stalin was having his people ground into pieces. He didn't care about his people at all, but nevertheless, he was running out of bodies. Yeah, and so what he wanted is he insisted that the Second Front start in France, so that the Germans that were fighting on the Eastern Front, the dreaded Eastern Front, would then a lot of them would be siphoned back to fight to stop the Americans, the British, and the French, and the Allies coming in from France. And Eisenhower relented because he wanted to make sure that Stalin could keep going, because if Stalin folded up, then we would have the entire Wehrmacht and everything else against all of us, trying to then go into Germany and stop this thing, and be close enough for our bombers to destroy their industry and end them. That's why the United States was so important, because we had fifth columnists and saboteurs, but we weren't being bombed. And our manufacturing capability won the war. And the other thing, there were two things: our manufacturing capability, our ability to, with the natural resources all over the country to do it, the ability to mobilize the United States on a federal basis for this to occur, and to have Congress 100% behind it, and at the same time coming up with, by Henry Kaiser, the Liberty ship. And although it was not a particularly great sailor, there were Liberty ships delivering our goods all over the world so that the war could be prosecuted.
I mean, those Liberty ships, though, they could build them in like a couple days. I mean, they were just pumping those things out.
They built one in one day. They had a competition, and that was right here in Portland at Kaiser Shipworks, which was where my dad was working on the Liberty ships, putting in electrical wiring, because he was too young to go.
Yeah.
So here you go. This is it.
Great book. I just wanted to say that's one of my favorite. That is my favorite bondage cover. I just think it's so cool.
Thank you. This is a book. There aren't very many of them. It is right up there with Suspense 3, as far as I'm concerned. Content-wise, it has much more Schomburg in it than Suspense 3, which has more L.B. Cole in it. Although Suspense 3 was the fusion of Alex Schomburg and L.B. Cole. So it's that kind of a thing. And Ernie Gerber was the...
Oh, well, your mic. You have to unmute yourself.
I invoked Ernie Gerber, and that's what happens.
Yeah, it's like the ghost of Gerber gets you.
Don't mention the name, or Jabberwocky or whatever comes up. So, the first book I will be showing anyway, but those are the ones we have the Dynamic with the Guns, the Mac Ray Boy. We have the Kelly Freias cover. Yes, We've got Wonder 15, another great Schomburg. We have the Dan DeCarlo Starlet O'Hara, Buck Rogers. We got Catman. We got Dynamic with the Doctor. This is Namora #1, which is a Ken Bald cover and creation. Beautiful. And of course Eisner, and she's not crazy. She is not crazy. She looks jaundiced as hell, but she's not crazy, right? So the first one I'm going to show you is the latest of the I have a lot of Flash comics, Silver Age Flash, and I have a few more Flash comics in my collection, some raw books. But of the ones that are the go-tos, I have here Flash Comics number 88, and this is from October of 1947. It is a Joe Kubert cover and art, and also Carmen Infantino art inside. And Robert Kanigher, who did all of those war books and war stories for the Silver Age, was the writer. He did other writing besides just GI Combat and all these others that he did. Kanigher and Kubert and Russ Heath and all those people, as far as for the war books, the Big Five or the Big Six or whatever they were. GI Combat being my favorite. However, this is Flash number 88, and this is the first appearance of the Gentleman Ghost. And I always loved it on the Adam and Hawkman at the end of when Adam and Hawkman came to an end, the last 4 or 5. The Gentleman Ghost was these beautiful Kubert covers that had the Gentleman Ghost. I liked the Gentleman Ghost, and then he was in the animated series, and he was in various places. And he was dangerous, but he wasn't really dangerous. He was sort of a crook that wanted to get away with it. But he wasn't like murdering a whole lot of people, at least generally he wasn't. He threatened, but he didn't really seem to be murdering people that much. But he was a crook, and he was trying to get away with it and cause great problems. And he was a villain that went against Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah.
Okay, and so This is his first appearance, and I was trying to figure out because I said, where did he start? And it's clear back in 1947. And it was one of these ones where they say, is there really a gentleman ghost? Is it a snare? We ask you readers, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the way that they set it up too, it's like it could be either way, right? Yeah.
It could be either way, but the way it ended up, everybody wanted to believe that he really was what he was, and it was not a scam, because a true character that has an interesting story and an interesting look is far better than some schmuck that basically could fool everybody.
Yeah.
To my mind.
Yeah.
And on the back, we have the Daisy. By the way, I just got word from Overstreet. The Overstreet price guide, February. It was supposed to be in November, but they've had all manner of financial problems from their parent company, and there's been a whole bunch of the assets, or this or that, and there was a question whether or not the Overstreet price guide would be printed. And so there were some rumors. Matt Atkinson told me that they thought that the last year's was the last one. I contacted my editor right away, and I said, there are rumors that we are kaput. And he said, that's not true, because the price guide is still profitable. Now, I don't believe that it is profitable as much as it would have been. Well, it's coming in February. It will be coming. And you know that they have Lady Luck as one of the covers?
What?
I have almost all I have from issue 3, I have all the way up on the guides.
What's the cover?
The one cover is Conan Tarzan kind of thing, and the other is Lady Luck.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
And the Lady Luck that they have on that cover looks very similar to yours on your Kickstarter. That Kickstarter that you did 17 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, I'll make sure there's a lawsuit claim in there. Okay, good.
For the public domain character, I think you. Good luck. Okay, so anyway, that's we have a Daisy on the back.
That's cool though, that Lady Luck. Though I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I hope that's the one they send me.
Back on the map. So
I hope that's the one they send me. I'll actually send a message and ask if I can have that. I will do that. I'll make a note here. Lady Luck.
At this moment.
Well, that's my compensation for all of the pearls of wisdom and incredibly insightful things that I provide, and the bright illumination I do on the stuff.
Cool.
Here is Flash Comics number 55. These are all Sheldon, except for that one. These are all Shelley Moldoff covers. And in Flash, as we have mentioned before, Flash Comics had The Flash and Hawkman, among others. Those were the two primary characters. And they alternated on the cover with Hawkman and then Flash, much like what they would do on More Fun, where they would have various characters would then be, it may be Spectre, it may be Dr. Fate. And I think that they were very wise to do that, because even before the alternating cover thing in the 60s with Marvel and all this other stuff was going on, with the titles where you'd have Doctor Strange on the cover one month and then it'd be the Hulk or whoever, Strange Tales and that kind of thing, Nick Fury or Torch or Doctor Strange, whatever. But they were doing this back in the 40s because it was wise to highlight the various characters. I will say that More Fun 73, which is such a valuable book because of the first appearances, the cover is a stinkburger. I mean, it's the half mask of the Dr. Fate. It's not good. And it's a crime cover. It doesn't even have him fighting Asmodeus or something. My opinion. So here is Flash Comics 55 from July of 1944.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Like I hadn't really read the Golden Age Hawkman until recently, last couple of years or so, and I didn't realize that he actually had hawks working for him. Like
definitely.
Yeah.
Wheat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was far more pronounced in the Silver Age when they had the Absorbiscon, that they could speak to all the birds and stuff, and they had like the Major Mina or whatever it was. They had all these birds that were helping, which I found far more interesting and compelling than having it be Percival Pop or Winky, Blinky, and Naughty, or Doiby Dickles or Clover and Dover. Those guys, that was a complete waste to do that. It sucked. I didn't care for that. Even as a little kid, even though I was mystified by, or as a young man, mystified with the Golden Age, when I saw those sidekick things that they brought, the injecting humor,
I don't know why they always had a sort of comedic sidekick. That was kind of a thing that they did a lot in the Golden Age.
Someone was saying, smarter than I was, that the reason why they had a sidekick was so that they could have someone to talk to, rather than have an internal monologue in their head that you're reading what their thoughts are. That they had someone else to talk to and be with them. The Shadow had a crew, Doc Savage had a crew, all these people the Avenger had a crew. I mean,
also,
it's just
somebody to rescue as well.
Yeah, Tarzan had Cheetah, So anyway, here we go. And this has it says Superman publication, but it still has that interesting kind of all-American feel to it, the way it's scripted.
Very cool.
Here is issue number 49, and this is from January of 1944. Again with Shelley, and I just thought that the color strike on this and the action, where they have this electric dude.
I'm just reading some of the comments here.
Same thing, Zook. Yeah. And then the same thing with Space Ranger. He had Crystal or whatever, the little Oink the Goink or whatever, that little pink pig looking guy.
And I think Silver Age Moldoff, he was being given different direction in terms of the style that he
was told what to do.
Yeah.
Mr. Atkinson has talked about this, that Mort Wessinger required various things to be done as he felt and should be done. And since
they want to make it more like appeal to kids somehow, that it's not so serious.
We had the code. This is the reason they had the code, right? And it was a while before with the code things were the in the Bat family with Batmite and Bat Hound and all those. Hello, Patriot. That they basically when Julie Schwartz got in there, that was the end of it. He said they're gone, and that was the end of it. This is the last book in this round for me.
Okay.
And this is issue number 39, and this is from March of 1943. It's 6.5 white pager, and it is with Hawk Girl kicking the fanny of these guys. It's just, what's up here? January 8th. Let's see, and this is cover dated March. So it's 2 months. So this was on the stands January the 8th of 1943.
Like, this is actually the most expressive I've ever seen her face.
Truly.
It's like, it's actually like, usually like everyone's face is fairly it's not like there's very much expression. It's usually just a very static face. But her face is so expressive.
The wings.
It's funny that she's kicking the guy's butt.
The difference between an E.E. Hibbard cover or an Infantino cover in this vintage is Shelley Moldoff's. There was so much more going on. There was so much more work going on, and it's also interesting with Flash comics is that they would put the Superman crest. Now, this was an all-American comic at this time. But at this point, Gaines, who had All-American, when Old Man Gaines used the Superman DC publication logo disc because DC was more recognizable because of Superman and Batman. And because of that, they used this. It was sort of like it was like Mercury and Ford.
So it's a way of sort of leveraging your successful.
So you basically then take you take the strength, but then as the book started to get near the point where it was going to be absorbed with DC, and then the whole thing turns into National Comics, then that's when he started to put the All-American he put the All-American symbol, the logo. He had it created and started putting it on the books for just a few months in the various titles he had to differentiate that, in fact, that this was All-American Comics still, and then it would be no longer. And not that he said, "No, I will do this till it's no," I think he just did it. But this is a beautifully, the action on this and the amount of effort that Moldoff put both on the covers and in the stories themselves. Outstanding stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so I'm going to show some All-Star. So I'm going to a different side of the whole thing, but there will be sort of Hawkman in here, sort of. I might as well show this one first, even though it's kind of out of order. This is so Hawk Girl, she doesn't become Hawk Girl until this book. This is All-Star number 4. This is where Hawk Girl becomes Hawk Girl. Before she's just like an ordinary person. But in this, there's
Sheila Sanders, right?
Sheila Sanders. Basically, the idea was in this, she puts on the get up in order to kind of fool a villain. You know, like, oh, Hawkman's over there. Oh, but he's over here. What's going on? It's like, so, but then she kind of takes on the mantle as well as, you know, as a Hawk Girl. So,
Alan, may I just say this about
wait, I said 4. I meant 5. Sorry, by the way. Yeah.
The thing that always kind of gets me, everybody, the Golden Age Green Lantern. If you look at the belt that's around his waist, it's like he's got on a girdle.
I know.
And then and his trunks look all kind of lumpy and like he's wearing some kind of Depends or something underneath there. He is not sleek in any way. He's like kind of grandpa ass.
What's his name? No, it's Howard Purcell. Purcell did this one.
And but Nodell did the same thing. And the one that even still had it a little bit lumpy was on 16. It was Shelley Moldoff did that first cover. But I think that his Hawkman is far sleeker than the Green Lantern. That just to my eye. And he had the puffy sleeves and stuff.
The are a little weird too. Like if you look at like Flash versus like the Green Lantern.
Yeah, he looks like Gigantor pants or something.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But I don't know.
It's still good. Don't get me wrong. I still like it, but
it's junk. I'm gonna throw it away. Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. Another one, similar era. This is a better Hawkman one though. You got really close up on Hawkman. This is All-Star 8, and this is the first appearance of Wonder Woman. I think I've shown this book before. I'm not sure.
Do you know who gets the shortest shrift on that cover? 2 things about it. Number one is the Atom. Well, no, the Atom is all the way in the back. You can hardly even see him because he's got blue on dark blue.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right here. There's the Atom.
And then this is after More Fun 73 or 72 because the Dr. Fate has the half mask on.
Yeah. I don't like the half mask.
Nor do I. I just don't. I don't like
the
that.
Full mask. It looks better.
Much.
Yeah. So that's my All-Star 8. Now we both really like Sheldon Moldoff's Hawkman, but this is actually E. Hibbard, a Hawkman. I actually like this one a lot. This is my favorite Hawkman cover. Of like where it's just Hawkman by himself. I just love how he's swooping down on the people. I just think it's really cool. So this is All-Star Comics number 10. I just think it's a really cool one.
The thing that Hibbard would do, unless it was a coloring mistake, is that he has bare legs as opposed to wearing his green.
Yes, it's right. He is actually much more out there, isn't he? Is the All-Star my most expensive book in my collection? I don't think so. I think it's in the top 5. I think Wonder Woman 1, even though it's restored, that's actually a more expensive book. It's hard to say. I don't know, um, but yeah, I just love this one. Great cover. I'm only going to show like 5 books per round. Or
That's what I'm doing.
okay. Now for me, the reason I got into All Star, not only because of Wonder Woman, was because of the fact that I really liked the Stargirl show, and a lot of the characters that were mentioned in Stargirl were brought into the series from All Star. They're All Star or Star characters, and one of the characters, if I can get this tape off, because it's hard to show. It's up here. Is Brainwave. Is that? So this is the first appearance of Brainwave, and it's got also a half-page ad for Comic Cavalcade.
What's the date?
1943. So this is All-Star 15. I love when they put the villain or the first appearance character on the cover like this. Brainwave's a really cool character. I like the fact, you can control minds and stuff. That's kind of fun. Just a really cool character. Did you like the Stargirl series?
I did. I watched it, and then I think the second season, I think they had, or if they had it, I didn't really watch the second season.
I think it had 3 seasons. I watched the first 2 seasons, but I didn't watch beyond that. So
I have to say that when Simon and Kirby took over the Sandman, it turned into such a completely different character from the Man of Mystery and, the World War I gas mask and just being resourceful and tough and strong. That he had a sidekick, and then he had the whatever it is, the gun that he used. What is it, the Webpoon or whatever it was, where he has this retractable cable gun. It was an entirely different character and feel to it. Simon and Kirby is cool, and even as a standalone, but compared to what the Sandman, I have a great deal of affection for the Sandman, obviously because I love the character enough to try to find out, and did find out his first appearance. And that was that. So I have a very personal attachment to the original Sandman.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting about this? I think this is actually an early cover appearance for Wonder Woman as well. Like in terms of All-Star. Like, they didn't really put her on until later on in the series. So there's that as well. I just want to mention that. Okay, 1 sec here. I'm going to show one more.
Alan, do you want to show all yours and let me finish, or do you want to do you have a big a finale that you were shooting for?
I don't have that many. I'll just show the rest.
Okay, and then I'll finish. Is that okay?
Yeah, it seems like a good plan. Okay. So we got my All-Star 3. This is where you get the first appearance of the Justice Society of America. They're sitting at the table. They're not really doing much, but they at least form the JSA. Just a kind of a cool book. I always love this one. This one was a recent addition to my collection. But you got all of them. Like, I like this one because you've got all the members, and they're all equally kind of sitting around this King Arthur-y kind of table. And so we got Hourman, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Flash, Spectre, Sandman, and Atom. So just a really cool book.
Did you know that the Atom, whose name was Al Pratt, and he was a small guy, and they used to torment him because he was so short? You wouldn't understand that. And the thing about him, he trained with the same guy, was the coach of Wildcat, the heavyweight champion. So the Atom, Al Pratt, learned at the foot of the same guy that taught Wildcat, and that was the story of how he went. But in the book, instead of that he was not superpowered, you watch him tear a safe open in that All-American number 22 I had. Okay. and it was amazing because and I'll tell you something else. If you look at his trunks, it was like he was wearing really tiny briefs in the story, and his fanny is hanging half out of his pants.
I'm a
It
little
really
bit,
was.
yes. Okay, yeah. One sec here. Can I show? Oh yeah, you can see his briefs right there. Yeah, he's very.
And in the story, and then he has these weird gauntlets that are very specific looking, although do not have any
Any purpose.
particular thing. But you know what? The actual personality of Al Pratt is really, he has a very good, he was written very well, to be honest. He wasn't just sort of an also ran kind of a character. He was actually quite well written.
He never had his own book though, did he?
Negative. No, he didn't. Until the Silver Age.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Different,
He was
different
a
Adam.
very different character.
Completely different science fiction difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's All Star 3, where they form the JSA, and then they actually go out on their first adventure in this one. I really like this one where they kind of all do their own thing. I kind of really enjoy it. As a
I wish you would have bought my copy when I traded it to Yaniv. Did Aubrey get it?
I don't know who picked it up. It sold before I even had a chance to even make an offer.
Okay.
But yeah, it's missing the centerfold. It presents well. It's just missing the centerfold.
Incidentally, the story inside this, the thing that is the big concern here, then when they talk to Roosevelt, is that the American newspapers were being infiltrated by liberals and communist thought. And they were teaching that not to be proud of America. And they were told that we were...
That would never happen, Stephen. Come on.
I mean, the parallels, I mean, I'm not trying to be political, but the entire story was based on the fact that the incorrect and improper use of the press to alienate the American citizens against their own country. And that was a huge, and this guy has a beautiful dialogue where he goes over all of that and he explains all of it. And I couldn't believe it. I was looking at a book from, was it 43?
Yeah, this one's from 1941, actually.
Okay, in 41, as the war was trying to start, that they trying to keep us out of the war, that there were a lot of fifth columnists and the German party and a lot of that stuff that were influencing the media. It was very interesting how they were, and they had like things at Madison Square Garden where they would have the American
page 1. Sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
The American Nazi Party. But if you read this on Comic Book Plus, read that story. It's a great story.
Okay, next one is All-Star 21. I forgot if this has any key. I don't think it's a key in any way. Spectre and Adam cameo, Dr. Fate, and Sandman end. But I just always like this cover because of the date. It puts that date perspective on it. I always thought it was just a really cool one. And this one has Starman in it, which is interesting.
Two things. You will notice that the Spectre has the pointy top of his cowl, which was a device they used.
Mm-hmm.
Who created the cover?
This one is done by Joe Gallagher.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a cool cover. Okay, 2 more to go. We got All-Star 35, and this is his first appearance. Hard Degaton.
Who?
Let me see if I can pronounce it right. Degaton. Per Degaton. So, yeah. Just another one of these cool villains from the Golden Age.
Is that a Gallagher cover again, or is that
no, Irv Hasson cover?
Irving Hasson, yes. Hassan was another one of the guys in the
Yes.
stable.
Yes, a time traveler. I know he was a time traveler. I tried to say Dagaton. I'm saying it correctly, hopefully. Um, it's not a name that I hear mentioned very often, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not.
The thing I like about this, the whole title of All Star, is a character like Dr. Midnight
Mm-hmm.
still has a place at the table because there's not much to him as a character. He's a resourceful guy.
Is this Dr. Midnight right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you think it was?
No, I just saying that's the only one I could think of that is. I
And
just
his owl Hootie or whatever the name of his owl
yeah,
was.
yeah.
But it was also a very well written story where he was blind supposedly, and then he would then be able to Dr. Midnighter or whatever. It's a good story.
Mm-hmm. Hootie the Owl. Yeah, I mean it's really cool. I kind of like um I like the series. Okay, and the last one. Actually, I have two more. There must be one more. Well, I'm missing one of my All Stars. I think I left it over there. But okay, we got All Star 41 because I have another one with just the first appearance of the Injustice Society, but this is not that. But this one I think is cool because you also have the Black Canary. I think this is where the Black Canary joins the JSA.
Does it say that on the label?
Black Canary joins the JSA.
And the
Yes,
year and the month and year, and who did the cover?
month and year is June 1948,
Oh,
and it's
late.
yeah, this is Alex Toth cover.
God, I thought it looked. I mean, Alex Toth has such a good look. I
Yeah,
mean, he has a very distinctive look.
I like
Um,
his horror stuff. So yeah,
but if you look, was having difficulty with Hawkman's helmet, which so many of them did.
yeah, he kind of made it really stretched out. If you
Yeah,
look,
it's more of it's sort of artistic license to enhance that as far as but at
I
least
mean,
he
they're
has
all like little figures, so it's kind of like a
but at
weird.
least he has pants on, which is what I'm very thankful for.
You don't like the naked leg one, eh?
I
Actually, I
don't
like the
care if
green pants better. Actually,
I really I prefer that he have pants on.
mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's like I like this. It's like you know all the different treasures that are being stolen, like the Liberty Bell and the Washington Monument and the what is the
Old
boat?
Ironsides, old
Old
Ironsides.
Ironside. Yeah. So just I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I like the little history piece. So that's those are my All Star. I actually have a couple more. I just didn't realize I didn't bring them. So, but I'll make you big.
Fair enough. Here is issue number 37. This is from January of 1943, so it probably would have been in December or November of 1942. And this has, again, it's the Shelley Moldoff. And this cover, I will tell you, is the one that Alan showed me this book for the first. I had not registered or regarded this cover until Alan showed it, and I didn't even realize there was a cover that was this I mean of the beautiful Moldoff covers.
Mm-hmm.
This is stunningly beautiful cover. It has all the action, all the birds, all the different birds that he had to basically put into this. It's just it's an amazing thing. Does it show the date? 43. No, just 43. That'd be 1943. Yeah. But but this one has a truly spectacular color strike to it. I'm drawn to the colors, I admit. And in instances where if there was a 7.0 or a 7.5 that had a slightly faded cover, I would take the lesser grade to have the better presenting
Color.
cover.
Yeah.
Because to me, if a structural grade is attained with a book that does not have full color. To me, and for the amount of money it costs to get these, that to me it has to be beautiful. Yes,
Yes.
the birds do his will, Sue. They do. But you've got terns and eagles, I mean hawks and all manner of different birds here that are coming along. But the action, she has a sling in her hand. You see, Hawk Girl has a sling in her hand, and he, of course, has a morning star, a mace.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but if you look at this, the composition of this cover, and again on the covers, Hawk Girl,
Hawkman is not sort of like Aquaman of the air. I don't really think of that.
not at all.
But no, the idea that he controls fish or birds instead of fish.
Oh yes, on that level too. But Hawkman is a more serious character than Aquaman was to me.
So. Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of the ho-ho with Aquaman, a little bit. There was no ho-ho with Hawkman. Hawkman was facing really bad cats.
I actually love the wings. I actually like the way.
Now, again,
they are fluffy wings, the fuzzy wings, but yeah, I do like them.
Kubert's wings, and later on, are extremely well done. If you look at the Hawkman series and in the showcase covers, it is a far cleaner application of the wings. I agree with you on that. But in my mind, the original inception of the character and the artist that created the character's look, to me, matters. And I think that even though they are somewhat amorphous, they are in action. Whereas if you look at Murphy Anderson's version of Hawkman, as opposed to Kubert, they are very static. They're beautiful images, but they are static. These are not static. The wings are actually moving, and the muscles and the tendon and cords on the top would be more in line with how well that it would actually be able to lift them. This is down here. It says, "Let's go USA, keep them flying."
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was the All-American logo.
No. And you'll see that the DC disc again is down underneath the F. They didn't have it up in the top right-hand corner. They had it down underneath the F because they wanted the Flash trade dress, the H, to be able to go unimpeded up into the corner artistically. I like it. I like the big title books where the title goes all the way across the cover. Now, there's two reasons for that. And most importantly, that on the newsstand, if you set them in there, you could see the Flash. You couldn't see the picture, but you could see where it says Flash Comics. And that's what they would do. Later on, they basically squared it up and then canted it off to one side. Wait a second, I'll show you what I mean. Like this. You see?
Yeah, they shrunk it up.
They shortened it, and then they even did this where they basically take this and they'll tilt it up a little bit, sort of askew.
I think it looks better when it's right across. Yeah.
The full title, the full across the cover, big titles to me define Golden Age, the Golden Age look. These wings are the Golden Age look. The action, I mean, it took Moldoff more time to create a cover like this than Flash did. And it's not that Flash covers are no good. I think Flash covers are very good. E.E. Hibbert and some like Flash Quarterly #1 is a beautiful image of the Flash. It's great. I prefer Moldoff's work to that. I mean, as far as...
I don't know. So right now, it's a Flash comic with the Flash in the little bubbly thing at the top.
If you have Flash on the cover, then Hawkman's in the bubble.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They kind of balance it out.
It's like Action Comics has before Superman was on there, or Detective. Mr. Atkinson went through this. that the image of the character Superman would be up in the bubble or Batman would be up in the bubble if it was
Depending
like a
on who.
Fred Gardner cover or something like that, so that you
Mhm.
knew inside was also the primary superhero, which was either in this instance the Flash is here or it would be Hawkman. Here is now we're I've changed the order. I have changed the order of these just so that the way they end. This is number 15. And this is from March of 1941, which would have come on the stands just as Pearl Harbor has happened. And we are drawn officially into the war. Already we were providing lend-lease. We lent all that war material and food and equipment, ammunition, and everything else in return for long-term leases on properties in the United Kingdom for our fleet so that we could then stage. And of course, my feeling is, why don't the British provide ships for their own ports, that we have to have our ships over there protecting them? But nevertheless, that we were and are a deterrent to people doing unsavory things in the world, because we are the most powerful country. And even then, because we were not being bombed, that we were in a position to do this. It also pulled us out of the Great Depression because all the people were able to go back to work. And it also changed it changed the cultural look of the United States completely, because in Oregon, there really were not that many African Americans. But when they opened up the shipyards up here for work, then all over the country, from the South and everywhere, people migrated here to Portland, and they lived in a town they built a town between Portland and Vancouver, Washington. The Columbia runs between, and they called it Vanport. Vancouver, Portland, they called it Vanport. And they built all these houses to house all of these additional workers that were coming here. Portland and its environs was very deeply affected by all of this, by the war, just like everybody else. But the shipbuilding capabilities we had at Swan Island with Kaiser Manufacturing was enormous. And again, because the necessity to have the ability to ship goods and war material to where it had to go anywhere in the world was because of the Liberty ship. The Liberty ship was the most important ship that we had to supply the Allies to take on the Axis. And where they were running out of oil and running out of material and all this other stuff, food and everything, we weren't, because we had a fleet of these Liberty ships. And I will tell you that when I was a small boy, we would go, the Portland is divided in half by the Willamette River. And we call it the City of Bridges. We have like 7 or 8 bridges of varying ages or different eras that go across the Willamette from the west side, where I am, and then the east side. And there was a lot of industrial stuff along the river down by where the river trade could be then brought to them. It made perfect sense, and it worked beautifully. It still does. So what happened was this. There was a steel reclamation company, Zidell, that was underneath the bridge called the Ross Island Bridge, because Ross Island is in the middle of the Willamette, and that's where most of the gravel, rock and gravel, came to pave our roads and do all manner of stuff, and stone. Excavated it right there on Ross Island cement and Ross Island rock. That was one of the big ones, and the proximity was exactly right there to do it. So what happened was Zidell, which was on the other side, on the west side, they would break up these World War II ships. And so in 1960, when we would be driving across the river to get into Eastmoreland on the east side where my grandparents were, we would go over the Ross Island Bridge, and we would look down and see all of these ships being cut up. You had escort carriers, you had cruisers, you had many, many destroyers and minesweepers and destroyer escorts and Liberty ships till hell wouldn't have them. And they had these blue, the Navy, the kind of cadet gray blue that the Navy had. They had these life rafts, and they had them stacked like, 50, 60 feet in the air for these life rafts. All the gun emplacements have been taken off. Anyway, so we got to watch all manner of World War II vessels that would then be there waiting to be scrapped and then recycled. And if we wanted to go and see the ships themselves, Bremerton, Washington's just across the river and up by Seattle in Tacoma. And you could go and that's where I walked aboard the Missouri before it went over to Hawaii. You could just walk and take a tour of the Missouri. And there's a plaque right on the deck where MacArthur and the representatives of the Empire of Japan signed the instrument of surrender in Tokyo Bay. It's history, history, history. We've got Portland in the World War II history and we were the only state that was fired upon. Hawaii was a territory, and so was Alaska. So they were not states, but Oregon is, and we were shelled down in by Seaside at Camp Stevens. And we had retractable guns. Long story. So we have a lot of the World War II. We have a lot of the World War II stuff here. And when I grew up, the whole history of World War II, not Korea, which was closer. I was born just after the Korean War ended, or the armistice.
Yeah,
but
never ended.
but we didn't talk about Korea. Everything was about World War II and my friends' parents and their relations and all that. Everyone was in the war. And so it was front of mind, and the conversation. And then, of course, the comics, all the war comics from DC. Not so much Sergeant Fury, which was more fantasy than anything else, but Sergeant Rock was gritty. And so was Enemy Ace, and so were all these others. The Haunted Tank. There was fantasy too, but it was more gritty. So anyway, very, very much in keeping with when we had the bomb, we would go bombs away over Tokyo. Jumping out of the swings, when you take the last, you want to go too far out because you'll end up going ass over tea kettle. But when you fly off of the swing set, it's bombs away over Tokyo. That's just the way it was. Here is issue number 15. This is from, again, March of 41, and it is a beautiful spread wing cover.
Yeah, it's a great one. I actually almost picked up a copy. Somebody took it out of my cart, though.
Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me this time.
It's a low grade one. Yeah.
I almost all of these all appeared about the same time. It was weird. Hello, Brian. Just a hair. But anyway, there it is. And of course, we have the Red Ryder BB gun.
That's another really great one. Solo cover. I mean, yeah.
Here is another really great one. Here is number 9. This is from September of 1940, which would have been around the time that Lend-Lease started. And one of the reasons why Japan was so bent out of shape is when they invaded China, they were using material, oil and steel and all this metal that we had supplied them. And Roosevelt took one, they said, forget it, we're chopping you off at the pockets. Well, the Japanese were incensed that we did that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you're turning off our oil? And that basically forced them to then, rather than wait to do it, but it forced them to go down into Indochina, down into the East Indies, the Dutch East Indies for oil and rubber. That's why they had to go down there, because we weren't giving them any more of that. And so that's when they fanned out down and heading down towards Australia in the so-called co-prosperity sphere, which is a euphemism for being conquered and taken advantage of.
Yeah, basically.
This one, but this is from September of 1940, so probably July of 1940. And again, it is just an absolutely beautifully conceived cover.
Yeah. I think that's where Moldoff did his best stuff, is like when he said, hey, I'm just going to put these wings right across the page. I think it looks cool.
It says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since all of this stuff is about during coming in for the war, I saved this last book because I'm just going to do, although I've been lemon treeing tonight, I got one more little lemon tree, and that's sad. And I
That
really am
is,
sad
yeah.
about that. And I've mentioned this that there is no appreciation. Forget the First World War.
See,
Okay, Andreas. Um, no one talks about the First World War, and I'm very much about that war, the Great War, because my grandfather was in it. But the Second World War was far closer and affected me far greater than that. And so we were tagged at Pearl Harbor, and we were tagged very badly, and it showed just how we were not ready at all to go to war. We weren't ready. A lot of times we weren't ready to go to war, and we had to build up. Same thing in War One, War Two. Korea, everything was still there. We just went ahead and continued, which is ridiculous. But the thing about the Second World War was that when we were hit and our entire battleship row was destroyed, the Japanese had two fatal flaws at Pearl Harbor. The first was they didn't know where the aircraft carriers were, and the influence of naval aircraft and naval air war changed the way the war worked. And Billy Mitchell, who was ostracized for his thought on this, when he had a Liberty bomber after the First World War in the 20s, and he said that an aircraft can knock out a battleship. And they said, you have rocks in your head. And he said, no, I can assure you. So they had one of these big battleships from the First World War from the Germans called the Ostfriedland. And he went up in the bomber. I think he missed the first 1,000-pound bomb. He dropped the second bomb and he hit it and blew the thing up and sank it.
Yeah.
And even though they had the actual evidence of their own eyes, they still were so hidebound on the fact that battleships had to be it. And he actually wrote a paper, Mitchell did, saying that the probable spot to be attacked would be Hawaii, because that was the furthest point west that we had naval influence. And that was
easy target, basically.
And it was the primary threat to the Japanese Navy, which was outstanding. Outstanding ships and outstanding, I mean, the Japanese Navy was damn good. Beautiful designs, amazing ships. Never think they were junk. They weren't. They saying that stuff was junk. They didn't know what they were talking about. The Japanese Navy was amazing. And we were better. Because we did have some luck, but nevertheless, we were smarter than them. And they were hidebound with a lot of the culture and Bushido code and the infighting between the Japanese Navy and Army, who got resources to do what. And they didn't get along. So there was a fractious thing going on with the Japanese. And so anyway, but they bombed us and they hurt us badly. The second thing that they didn't do is they did not blow up the enormous oil reserves that were there at Pearl Harbor on Oahu. And because they didn't do that, we had the ability to then still fuel and run our Navy ships from Pearl. And then we could continue to have these, and I'm getting into the weeds here, but the big naval tankers, the huge naval tankers, there were about 9 of them, that would either follow the fleet to re-oil them or to bring the oil over to Oahu, pump it all out into this huge vessel that they had, the storage containment system, and then back and forth from California to bring that oil out to us. If that had gone up, we wouldn't have been able to fuel our ships. So what happened was this. Instantly, the United States said, we have to hit them back. We have to hit Japan back for what they did. We cannot let this stand, because they bloodied our nose badly and killed a lot of our people on a sneak attack. And so what happened was James Doolittle came up with a plan to hit Japan, to hit Japan by bombers. And they had a small bomber that would fit onto an aircraft carrier, but they had to be specially built in order for them to have extra. I'll explain this to you. I will first show you the book, and then I'll give you the dope on it. This is Flash Comics number 33 from September of 1942. This book came out on July 7th of 1942, which meant that it was probably being produced and underway sometime in May of 1942. All right? And what had just happened was the Doolittle raid had bombed Tokyo. And Hawkman is doing precisely that to it. And it looks like they're blowing up a ship as well. But this cover is probably one of the best. This is not a propaganda cover. This is what you would call a patriotic cover.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a quintessential, absolutely a quintessential early patriotic cover.
It came out before or after the Doolittle raid?
Now, I was just going to explain this to you. It came after. Okay. And the Doolittle raid, let me just let you know, the Doolittle raid occurred on April the 18th of 1942. So in May, after the raid occurred, then with that knowledge, Moldoff created this cover. You see?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So this book is hooked directly to our response to the Japanese after we got hammered at Pearl Harbor.
I mean,
and so,
yeah, I mean, this was like at the time, the morale in the U.S. was pretty low after Pearl Harbor. And this was like
pretty low. The entire West Coast was wide open.
I know.
We had nothing. We didn't have anything to stop them.
I think the Doolittle raid was like kind of vital to kind of get America back on its feet and say, hey, we can hit them hard too.
Well, there was no one more surprised than the Japanese when it happened, because they didn't feel there was any possible way that they could be touched by us. And little did they know we could. And what we did was this. I'll show this to you again. What happened was this. Doolittle, basically, the aircraft carriers we had in 42 were not huge. And so the one that they used was the USS Hornet. And what they did was they could fit 16 B-25 bombers on the deck. They couldn't put them below decks. The wings didn't fold. So they couldn't put them on the elevators and put them underneath. They had to basically stack them up right on the deck, which meant that the ones at the very front of that stack of airships had the smallest runway to take off. So they were trained in specially produced bombers, B-25s, modified B-25s, they had to have extra fuel tanks installed. They didn't have enough. They couldn't land back on the carriers. So when they took off, they bombed Tokyo, and then they would go over into China and then land or ditch their planes to then come back. And that was the plan. And so, as the carrier got closer, there was a fishing boat that they saw, and they were worried that they had notified them, that the Japanese fishing boat had notified them that the aircraft carriers had been seen. Now, there was talk that there was some communication, but no one was. They didn't believe what was being said, or it didn't translate, or whatever. So what happened was this: they had to launch early, so that the extra fuel that they had planned for, they said, we can't take a chance that if they find out we're coming, they'll put all these planes up and we'll be shot to pieces. It has to be a sneak attack, right? So what happened was there were 16 B-25s on the Hornet. Now, the bomb load was not huge because they had to put a lot of it into the weight of fuel to get them all the way to Tokyo. And so they had basically each of the 16 bombers had 2,000 pounds of bombs. So 32,000 pounds of high explosives was dropped on Tokyo. And the way they set it up, there were 3 500-pound high explosives, and one 500-pound incendiary bomb to try to start fires. And all of them dropped their bombs, and they caught some of our guys and killed them, but most of them got away. And they got into China, and there's a whole story about it with Spencer Tracy. It's very interesting. But because they had to take off on such a short runway, they had to rev the engines almost to melting point, red line, in order for them to go. And so what happened was the very first aircraft off the deck was Doolittle himself. He took the highest risk of the mission because it was his plan. He says, I'm not going to put one of the guys first and me last. I'm going first to show what can be done. And if you go on YouTube, you will see it. And it shows him taking off and coming down and then taking off like that. And everybody is screaming on the deck. It really is something. And so that's what happened. And the amount of damage that small amount of bombs did was physical damage. There was some, but the emotional and psychological damage to the Japanese was enormous. And in researching this, I found out that there were maybe 4 or 5 other times that we got close and bombed them again in Tokyo. So this, and of course, when the B-29s came in with Curtis LeMay and napalm, that was all she wrote for Japan. They gave up on the high altitude because Fuji was causing the airstreams. The bombs were going all over everywhere. So he says, well, why don't we fly them close to the deck? And we have this new stuff called napalm. Let's show them what we got. And they burned the hell out of Tokyo. There was very little left. And I don't care. So this is the thing. They asked for it. This is the cover that is a direct response in comics going to war of the response from Pearl Harbor that the Doolittle raid did right in the day. So that's my lemon tree.
Very nice. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you, Stephen. I don't think I can clip that. It's too long for the 60-second clip, but it was a good lemon tree. Thanks everyone for joining us today. It was I hope you enjoyed seeing all these books, and stay tuned. We have more stuff coming up. I have more of my unboxing series, so yeah, check that out too tomorrow. And if you haven't watched the interview that I did with Jason Brubaker, please watch that. It's a really good interview. Nobody watched it, so I'm very sad. Watch it. It was the one I posted on Saturday, so go watch that interview. It's a really good interview. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.